Player Kings at the Noel Coward Theatre is Henry IV Part 1 and Part 2 squished together to create just under 4 hours of Shakespeare with one interval. Ian McKellen is the big star name playing Falstaff, with Richard Coyle as Henry IV, and Toheeb Jimoh, who plays Hal. There were elements I liked. I liked the way that Prince Hal was presented. There were definite elements in his behaviour that you could see were influenced by his having spent so much time hanging out in taverns and with thieves. Richard Coyle, whenever he's on stage, you could hear a pin drop. He just has a really commanding presence and was quite scary as Henry IV. Ian McKellen, he wasn't my favourite Falstaff. It felt like this whole thing was a vehicle for Ian McKellen to just do his thing. And a lot of the audience were lapping it up, but I kind of felt that there wasn't enough of the relationship between Falstaff and Hal. In other productions I've seen, Falstaff is almost is like a replacement father figure, where Henry IV is sort of, you know, the bossy parent and disappointed and disapproving parent. Falstaff is almost like a buddy, the parent who's also a mate. In this, Ian McKellen's portrayal, he's very much just a freeloader. That's all he seems to be. And I didn't understand why Hal was hanging out with him. It didn't feel like there was any real love or friendship between the two of them. And so what that does is, when Hal rejects Falstaff, I kind of was quite relieved. I was glad he'd sort of thrown him to one side. It was like, thank goodness for that. He's just a freeloader. And that was a big problem for me with this. The play just lacked some sort of heart, some sort of emotion. It felt like a series of set pieces for Ian McKellen to do like a comic turn. So yeah, I was a bit disappointed with it. It's not my favourite Henry IV Part 1 or Part 2. I've only seen Part 2 once before, and that was in conjunction with Part 1 as well. So no, it's not my favourite, I'm afraid.